Hello, 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 and welcome to The Difference Makers. I'm your host, Jacqueline Grant, and we are here for a very special edition of The Difference Makers, where we're going to talk about hot style and cool communications with our special guest, Nadia Baboo. Please join me as I give her a warm welcome because things are a little bit different now. Things are a little bit different where we're turning the curve. We're coming around that curve of COVID and coming out of the pandemic, and things are a little bit different. We are looking at changing our visual style. We're looking at changing our communication style. And she's an expert on both. And she's going to share with us how we can now make our communication more effective with our visual style and our communication style verbally as well. So let me give you a little bit of background on our guest. Nadia Baboo. She's an image and personal presence coach for women, specifically over 40. Many women look at this life after 40 as a time of hot flashes, health issues, and senior discounts. But Nadia encourages women to embrace all of that and see it as a time of renewal and rebranding. That's the key thing. Rebrand yourself to awaken those old dreams, bring new chapters and bring new things forward fiercely into your own power. She helps women and entrepreneurs as well as professionals over 40 to elevate their style and their communication skills and their behavior to be more confident, to be more credible, and to be more marketable so that they can turn their midlife crisis into a midlife manifestation of their dreams. So her motto is that you'll never be too old and it's never too late. So I would like to bring to the virtual platform, my guest for today for The Difference Makers is Nadia Baboo. Nadia, welcome, welcome, welcome. We are waiting to hear from you.
Hi, Jacqueline. Thank you so much for that wonderful, absolutely fabulous introduction. I appreciate it. And thank you so much for inviting me on. I'm so honored to be here today.
It's great to have you here, and we've been getting lots of feedback in the chat, lots of interest in that. People want to know, okay, now people are going to see me for the first time in over a year. What are they going to see? I'm tired of looking at myself in these little boxes, these Zoom boxes. How do I refresh myself? And how do I now actually talk to people again in person and get my message across effectively? I'm not the same person as I was a year ago. I'm not the same person from a capability standpoint. I've probably learned a few things about myself. I've probably learned a few things about what I can do, how I can multitask and do different things. I can still work my corporate job during the day, even if I'm working from home. And I've even squeezed a little time in to do a little entrepreneurial venture. So I need to communicate a lot differently. And also, now is springtime, spring forth. How do I now bring that image forward? I'm dressing a little spring-like today. I wanted to bring a little color to be able to, thank you. I wanted to bring a little color to kind of spark that interest to be able to bring some renewal physically and mentally. So Nadia, tell us about what makes you a difference maker. Let's always start there. What makes you a difference maker, and why were you chosen to be here today? I know why I chose you, but tell everyone else why.
Well, I am here today. I do what I do. I feel very passionate about what I do because it starts back. My pivotal year was 2013.
Mm-hmm.
That is the year that I stepped back into my power and started to get to know myself again and started to put myself back on the priority list.
Yes.
Yes. So that's the pivotal year. It started initially back in 2008. My business was thriving. I had lots of individual clients, corporate clients, government contracts, doing phenomenally well. And then 2008, as we all know, the recession hit. And I lost 75% of my business. My husband at the time, unfortunately, was not, he got a little worried. He was never supportive of me and my business. And when all of that fell apart, our marriage started to really fall apart. We were already sort of on, iffy ground, but it just made it worse for us. So over the next few years, I put my business dreams aside in order to save my marriage, hopefully, do the responsible thing and get a real job, as he put it. And I just started going through the motions and just going through life because that's what I thought I was supposed to be doing. I was being that responsible mom, that responsible wife. And I was miserable, absolutely miserable. It's just, I'm sure a lot of ladies out there can relate to this. They're just going through the motions. And then it all came to a head in 2013, because in that January of that year was when I lost my mom. And my mom was my best friend, my cheerleader, my rock. She is what grounded me and held me together. And when I lost her, I realized, you know what? Life is too short to be living it the way I'm living it. It's too short to be living it, to be unhappy, trying to make someone else happy. And that's when I made the decision that I need to get out of this marriage. I need to make a change. And by June of that year, I ended my marriage. And I started all over again at the age of 45. So it was a huge turning point for me. And I was scared. I felt guilt, especially because of the children. What is that going to bring to the children? Anybody who's gone through divorce, I'm sure, can relate to this. But it was very important for me to realign with myself, because I realized that going through what I was going through, what kind of example was I setting for my children as to what a good relationship is, as to what living a fulfilled life is. I wasn't setting that example for my children because I wasn't being honest with myself. So I made that huge move. At 45, as a professional woman, I didn't get back into my business right away. I made sure I took time for myself, to heal my children, to really assess what it is I wanted to do in life. And it took me a few years, but I eventually got back to my passion. And that is empowering other women to step into their power and, communicate to the world, share their values, their worth, their superpowers with the world. And I do that by coaching them on presenting all of that through their style, their communication skills, their interpersonal skills, their presentation, their personal presence. So that's how I do it. And I encourage women. I want to make sure that women during these crucial years, these pivotal years in our lives, that we realize that we've still got a lot of living to do.
Oh, yeah.
We've still got a lot of living. We have so much to offer, right? Our best is still within us. So how are you showing up and serving your audience with your superpowers?
Awesome. And I'm so surprised to see what synergy we share, because my story is very similar to yours. Having a business and my mother also passing away, and that was a pivotal point of me putting both feet on the same side of the fence. I was having one foot in corporate and one foot in my own business, and when she was coming home from major surgery, I was laid off, and they didn't know what a favor they did for me, because then I was able to make the decision not to look for another job and just take care of her and just do my business. And that was 2005. And, the same scenario moving forward. And you also bring up what I know to be true, as well as what I've heard from many of my clients, is that if you have a spouse or a significant other that is not necessarily supportive of your entrepreneurial endeavors, it can not only put a strain on you internally, but a strain on the relationship as well. And there are ways to kind of know from our stories. Hopefully we give some insight into women out there to either be prepared and have a strategy in place to work through that, so that you're not sideswiped, you're not caught unaware, and you don't know what to do. So hopefully you'll get some inspiration from our stories, so that you can either see the potential of it happening and intervene in advance. But we want to make sure we stay on the positive, where we give you empowering ways to move forward in your passion and to be aware and inspired as well as edified in your dreams and your vision. So Nadia, tell us now, how do you work with your clients and what do you do for them? We prepped everybody. We're talking about your personal style as well as your communication style. So how do you do that?
Well, first and foremost, before we can even start communicating or figuring out what we're going to wear, we really need to get in touch with our foundation and our brand story, or our why. You know, what is the reason that we have chosen our career path or chosen to start a particular type of business? And what is it that there's always a passion when we think back to when we made the decision to take the career path we have. There was something that triggered us. There was something that spoke to us that spiked our passion. And I think it's important that you realign yourself with that first and figure out that why. Why is it? For me, it's right now with my business, it's about empowering women over 40 to step back into their power, to rebrand, to reinvent themselves, because I had to go through it myself and I understand it. So what is it for you that sparks that passion? And then what is the message you are trying to convey to your audience? What do you want them to know? And then finally, what is it that you do, or what are those superpowers that you have that help you convey that message, that help your clients to achieve their goals? So that is the foundation of your personal brand. And that's something, first and foremost, I get my clients to really focus on, to really pinpoint and refine, because you need to always make sure that your message is clear, concise, and compelling. So you need to know what that is first. So once we've put that together, then we start to look at, okay, so how do I communicate this message? What is the most effective way to communicate this message verbally, verbally, so through our language, the tone of voice, from our tone of voice to the actual language that we use, and also in our nonverbals. So our body language, our facial expressions, our interpersonal skills, even back to basic etiquette. You know, there's so many different aspects as far as behavioral communication goes.
Oh, we're losing.
The communication.
We are losing Nadia. Let's hopefully.
Your visual. How is your looks like your group consistent?
We're having a little technical difficulty with hearing you. Are you still able to hear me? Hello? I'm going to ask you to maybe sign back in because we've lost your signal. Can you hear us? I'm going to ask you to log back out and come back in, Nadia, on the same link, if you would, because we've lost your signal.
1 second. I'm just.
Okay. All right. So while Nadia is working on the technical issue, I just want to kind of recap what she was talking about, that you have to look at your personal brand and your why, and everything starts with your why. Everything starts with your why. When you are clear on your why you're doing what you're doing, why is it important to you? What is the benefit that you want it to bring to you and to others who are important to you? When you describe all of your whys and you write it down and you get very clear, in essence, your why statement should talk about all the who, what, where, when, why, and how of what it is you want to do. I'll repeat that. You need to work on writing out and being very clear on the who, what, where, when, why, and how of whatever it is that you are doing or want to do, whether it's your career or an entrepreneurial endeavor that you are looking to go into. You have to get very clear as to who you want to serve, why you want to serve them, where and in what manner. Is it in person? Is it online? And so forth. All the details, as many as you can figure out. You want to work on all those details to develop your why. And from your why, you can develop your brand strategy as to what you want to project to the world and how you want to project it. But you can't project a brand until you are specific as to who you are and what you do. And this is beyond who you are as a person, as a significant other to someone else, or mother or father to your children. It's beyond that role, but who it is that you are creating yourself to be, beyond who you are naturally. So I believe Nadia is back now. Let's see if we can connect with her. Nadia, are you back? Can you hear us? Hello? Can you hear us? Hello? We're still having some technical issues here.
Are we better?
Can you turn up your mic just a bit? Still having a little issue. But what we're going to do, we're going to continue to move forward. Let me try one last item, and I hope that you all are patient with us there in the audience. You know how technical things go sometimes. So what I'm going to do is one little aspect here. Try one more time speaking for us, Nadia. Would you try talking for us? Let's see if we can hear you. Can you speak for us? We're not hearing you at all. Unfortunately, we're not hearing you. What we're going to do then is we're going to have Nadia come back so that we can definitely hear all the great information she has to share with us. We want to make sure that you get all that she has to share from a communication standpoint, both visually and from a verbal communication standpoint. We want to make sure that we give you what you came to see regarding this topic. So we're going to end here, but we will do this as another recording, so we will be able to post it so you'll be able to see all that Nadia has to share with you. So I thank you for being a part of the Difference Makers. We know that you make a difference to us, and we will make a difference for you with this topic to be able to bring you all that Nadia has to share. Thank you so much for your patience.